Hello, my friend, and welcome back, or welcome to Something for Everybody. My name is Aaron Machbitz, and this is a solo episode of the podcast where I'm discussing 6 truths that get clearer with age. So let's jump right in to number one. Number one, the world is crazy. The best way to stay grounded is to find people and projects that matter and give them your all. Truly, there is no substitute for mastery and mattering. Right? The great life or the good life, however you want to put it, is built on great relationships and great health. And the added extra thing on top of that is a purpose, a reason why you want to be here, a reason why we want to go through the ups and downs, the heartbreaks, the challenges. And those are great relationships. Those are taking care of our health. But really, that's caring about something that's deeper and bigger than yourself. Yes, people talk about finding your purpose all the time. Now, your purpose can change potentially throughout the seasons of your life. With different experiences, you care about different things. But the best way to stay grounded is to find those people who you really love, really connect with, can really be vulnerable and honest with, and find the projects that really matter. Again, the projects can be substituted for your purpose, but your project might be different in different seasons of your life. And then ultimately you land on it, maybe in your 20s or your 30s or your 40s or your 50s or your 60s, you find that actual purpose. That's your reason why, your massive transformative purpose. Mine is my massive transformative purpose is to end mental suffering. And I didn't find that until a couple years after I lost my big sister, Rachel. At first I thought it was to be a baseball player. That was my purpose in life. And then I thought it was to be a professional wrestler. And then I lose my sister, Rachel, and it takes me a few years to sort of figure out what that actually means. And now I stay grounded in my life because I have a beautiful wife. I have a son on the way. I have amazing parents. I have the best friends you could ever ask for, right? Those people are so important to me, the most important things to me. And then on top of that, what also helps me stay grounded in this crazy world is having something that I can pour my feet into, that my nose and toes are headed in the same direction. I have a vision, I have a purpose, I have a mission on this planet, a massive transformative purpose to end mental suffering. And everything I do is through that, whether it's this podcast, whether it's professional speaking, whether it's my nonprofit, whether it's my clothing brand, whether it's coaching, right? All of those things lead into the same direction. So it makes it feel like I matter, because I do matter, but ultimately you matter, and the world needs you here. The world needs you to express your unique talents and gifts and faults and mistakes. They need it all. We need it all. The world is not the same if you don't express those unique things about you, because there will never, ever, ever be another you. You are the best you and the second best someone else. So what are those unique gifts that you can give to the world, that you can really sink your teeth into, that you can strive for excellence and mastery in that domain like no one else can on the planet? That is what makes you so you. And that's why you matter so much. Yes, the world is crazy. There's so many different things happening, so many different things going on. But how can we zero in on what's most important to us, take care of our little nucleus, our little community, so that we can have the energy and effort to take care of some larger things, because we wish to be the change in the world that we want to see. And so, yes, the world is crazy, but the best way to stay grounded is to find people and projects that matter and really give them your all, no matter what. That's number one. Remember, we're talking about 6 truths that get clearer with age. That's number 1. Let's move on to number 2, which is don't put off your health. Don't put off your health. It's easy to prioritize everything else, but neglecting health will come back to get you. Yes, it will, no matter what. It's not a sacrifice to focus on health. It's a down payment on your future. So to make it really, really simple, you have 4 fundamentals: eating well, moving well, sleeping well, and thinking well. And we're going to talk about sleeping a little bit more, so I'll leave that to one of the other ones. But eating well. Couple eating rules that you can definitely follow is don't drink your sugar and eat more real foods. Yes, diets can be complicated. There's so many different things. You have to sort of find out what works for you. You want to go carnivore, plant-based, vegan, right? You want to have a mixture of stuff. You just want to eat meat and fruit, right? All of those things, you have to find out how your body feels, what works for you, what makes you feel good, what makes you not feel good, what makes you feel tired, what makes you feel energized, right? What gives you the best sense of yourself. But regardless of all of that, there are two simple rules that you have to follow, which is don't drink your sugar and eat more real foods, right? That is called eating well. Then you pick and choose where you want to see what else fits for you. You can be like, Dr. Jordan Peterson and only eat meat, right? Or you can be like Rich Roll and really go plant-based, almost vegan. Whatever works for you, your body, and your life, but you cannot put off your health. You cannot. It will come back to bite you in the ass every single time. So that's eating well. Then we want to move well. We have to move every single day. Every single day. We have to lift weights. We have to do cardiovascular health. The number one predictor of your longevity, according to longevity scientist Dr. Peter Attia, is your VO2 max. And that's doing sprints, going for long runs, right? Doing jujitsu, playing some sort of pickup basketball where your heart rate is elevated and you're breathing heavy and you're increasing that VO2 max. I train jujitsu. That is when I roll jujitsu, that is my cardiovascular. I go to the gym almost every single day, probably 6 days a week, and I train jujitsu. What can you do? Is it dancing? Is it Zumba? Is it rock climbing? Is it lifting weights? Is it walking? Right? It's better to do something little every day than a big chunk one time a week. So I'd rather you walk for 5 minutes every single day than do a 35-minute walk one time a week, because your clock resets every 24 hours. And so you need that little bit of exercise. 1 minute is better than 0 minutes. One jumping jack is better than 0 jumping jacks. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, you have to move your body. And you want to make these habits, like I've said on this podcast 712 times, but we get new listeners every single episode. You want to make your habits too small to fail. Too small to fail with eating, with moving, with all of that. And so, again, we have the 4 fundamentals: eating well, moving well, sleeping well, and thinking well. We're going to talk a lot about sleeping in the next one, so we'll leave that. We've talked about moving. We've talked about eating, right? You want to make those habits too small to fail. Pick what works for you. You're going to have to throw some shit against the wall, and then you find it, you stick to it. Now it becomes a habit. Now it runs on autopilot. Now it's part of your life that you don't neglect your health. You're someone who takes care of your health so you can take care Wow. So you can take care of all the other things in your life that are also very important. Time to check it. Geez, I cannot speak. Episode 402 of this podcast, and I still can't speak. Here we go. Take a drink of water, drink some coffee, whatever. Okay, so we'll talk about sleeping well in a second, because that's another one of the truths that we'll get to that deserves its whole thing. But with thinking well, this is what this podcast is all about. It's about thinking well. It's how to change the texture of your mind so that you can think in the best way possible, so you can be the best version of yourself. It's building that mental fitness toolkit. Am I meditating? Am I journaling? Right? Do I have a routine? Do I have sets of routines? Am I thinking about the way I talk? Do I have reflection questions? How's my self-talk? How does that lead to my confidence? What's my preparation like? All of these sorts of things lead to thinking well on a regular basis. How do I talk to myself in the most intense pressure-filled moments? When I make a mistake, how do I react? How do I respond? All of those things are about thinking well. And so we're not going to put off our health. We're going to dial in on our health, because our health is the most important, because that's all we have. We only have this one life. There's no dress rehearsal. There's no do-over. Our health is the only thing that we have in this life that we get to live, this precious, beautiful, unbelievably incredible gift that we have of life. So I'm going to eat well, move well, sleep well, and think well, and I'm going to prioritize it to the absolute best of my ability, regardless of how many things are going on in my life. I have to zero in on those things, and little things are better than trying to do big things. A 5-minute walk is much better than doing for a 35-minute walk one day a week. I'm going to go for a 5-minute walk every day of the week, and I'm going to try my best to maintain that so that I can be the best version of myself in greatest service to the world, or in greatest service to my family or kids or community or whatever the case may be. That's important. Again, it's easy to prioritize everything else, but neglecting your health will always come back to get you. Always. So it's not a sacrifice to focus on health. It's a down payment on your future. Eating well, moving well, sleeping well, and thinking well. Now, that's number 2. Let's go to number 3. Number 3, the people with whom you surround yourself shape you. So choose wisely. Let me say that one more time. The people with whom you surround yourself shape you. So choose wisely. Remember, I said at the top that to live the good, wow, excuse me, sorry. To live the good life, you need great relationships and great health. Great relationships are the cornerstone of a great life. They're the cornerstone of a great life, great health and great relationships. We just talked about great health. Okay, let's zero in on great relationships. Now, great relationships don't mean you have a great relationship and an intimate and a personal relationship with every single person that you meet. No, it's like 1 to 3 people max that you really can be your full, authentic self with them, and that you can mess up and they hold you accountable and they hold you on your shit. And they're in the trenches with you, and they're willing to sit in the dark with you, and they care and they love for you. And that is what we have to build. And that takes time, that takes energy, that takes attention, that takes effort, that takes diligence and persistence and reciprocity and all these sorts of things to build great relationships. But with whom you surround yourself with shapes you. If you want to, the fastest way to change your life is to change who you're friends with. If you love your life, then keep the friends that you have. But if you want to change your life, you're miserable, you're not in the right place, you feel stuck, then you have to change something, right? And the fastest way to improve your life is to stop doing the things that make you feel like shit. Well, if your friends are making you feel like shit, change your friends, right? Who is there really screaming from the rooftops that you want, celebrating you when you won, not trying to pull you back down to their level when you win, like, should you really be doing that? Should you really be going for that? No, they're celebrating you just as much as they would celebrate themselves. That's a true friend. You know who your true friends are when you start to win and how they react and who claps for you. That's very important, because if you're on a different level than them and they're insecure about that, they're going to try to bring you back down to their level so that you don't look too good in front of them, or you don't leave them, or based on some of their insecurities that they might not have dealt with. They're dealing it with through you and the way you're striving. So the people you surround yourself with shape you. And the fastest way to change your life is to change who you're friends with. And you want to build those relationships from the ground up, just like you want to build your health from the ground up by eating well, moving well, sleeping well, and thinking well. Same thing with those relationships, trying to go in there as authentic and honest and real and vulnerable as possible to build an honest, long-lasting, accountable, reciprocal, loving relationship, whether that be with an intimate partner or whether that be with a friend, whether that be with a family member. Great relationships are the cornerstones of us. Right? We have nothing. We have absolutely nothing without great relationships. I mean, how many times do you hear about the person who reaches the mountaintop and has nobody to share it with? That's not what we want in this life. We want someone to have great meals with, someone to travel with. Solo travel is also really awesome, especially if you're a young person. Like, go out, go out there and travel the world and do stuff. But man, how great is like sitting down and having a meal with great friends, with great food, great company. There's just nothing better in the world. Or celebrating something that your friend does, or going to their wedding, or meeting their kids, or having your kids and their kids hang out and grow up together because you guys are so close. I mean, these are the beautiful things of life that we can have. We just have to focus really diligently on building these great relationships. And they're possible, and they're powerful, and they're amazing, and they're part of a great life. They are the cornerstone of a great life. So, really, the people with whom you surround yourself with shape you. So choose very wisely. Number 4, a couple more left. Skipping sleep is not a productivity hack. It's foolish. Do everything you can to get good sleep, but also don't freak out when you can't, because sometimes life happens. The goal isn't to optimize a sleep score, it's to live, right? This is a very important thing. Sometimes we get so deep into these things that we have no spontaneity. We can't live our life because we are not able to move freely in the world, right? Skipping sleep, man, I'm having so much trouble speaking on this episode. Thanks for sticking with me. 400 episodes in, here we go. We're doing it. We're rocking and rolling. Not changing a thing, because this is me. This is me on a, on a Tuesday morning, trying to talk to you guys about 6 truths that I've learned that have gotten clearer with age, and I keep stumbling over my words, but we're here. We're ready to go. So number 4, again, is skipping sleep is not a productivity hack. It's foolish, right? Yes, there is going to be seasons in your life where you got to be on a sprint, where maybe you're getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep every night because you're just trying to do something great. Like you're working extra hours, you're doing this, you're doing that, whatever the case may be. Of course, that's going to happen. But over time, it will always catch up to you. Sleep is our number one superpower that we can use to recover, to regenerate, to have great energy. In the sports world now, sleep is part of the hard work. If you're not really diving into sleep, then you're not recovering as well as possible, right? If every day we want to get to the edge of our capacity, every day we want to get to the edge of our, excuse me, I need a drink. So if every day we want to get to the edge of our capacity, we want to give 100% of our effort every single day, then the only thing that's going to allow that is that sleep. Because if I don't sleep, or I don't prioritize sleep, or I get 3 or 4 hours of sleep, then my energy levels are down. So I can't go 100%. I can't give the best of myself. I can't get to the edge of my capacity. I can't be the best at getting better because I haven't prioritized the number one thing that's going to allow me to rest, recover, and wake up rejuvenated and wake up with 100% energy in my tank and then go for it, right? Of course, do everything you can to get good sleep, but also at the same time, don't freak out when you can't, because sometimes life does happen. I'm having a kid soon. Life will happen. Sleep will suffer. And sometimes we have to get through those types of seasons where you have a really big project, or you're in school and you got to study and you just got to focus on this thing and you got to cram and you got to spend all night doing it, or you can only get 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Yes, all of those seasons of life will happen. But if 80% of the time we can really prioritize our sleep, if we can really prioritize our sleep, we're going to be much better off emotionally, physically, spiritually. We're going to feel better. We're going to be able to go more in our life. We're going to be able to get to the edge of our capacity just a little bit more, just knowing and understanding that sleep is a superpower. And skipping sleep is not some productivity hack that's going to make you better. Over time, it's just going to make you worse. It's going to make you perform worse, feel worse. You're going to get sick more often, all of those sorts of things. So if we can just internally and like in our bones and body understand that sleep is a superpower, and I'm going to do whatever I can to prioritize it so that I can show up each and every day as my best self, then we know we're on the right track. And it comes back down to the 4 fundamentals of eating well, moving well, sleeping well, and thinking well. Those are our 4 fundamentals, and we have to be brilliant at the basics, and sleep is the sort of the foundation of foundation, right? It's the foundation of the foundation. We sleep well so that we have the energy to eat well, to move well, to think well. So sleep is the underlying bedrock of everything. It's the concrete, it's the super deep hole that you dig before you build a skyscraper. That is sleep. And then you get that appropriate amount of sleep, you feel well rested, you have this energy then to go out and do the other fundamentals of eat, move, and think well. That's the whole point of it all. So don't skip sleep, prioritize it, make it something that's super important part of your self-care routine. And the goal isn't to optimize your sleep score, right? It's to live, but living, you need energy, and the only way you get energy and recover faster is to sleep, is to prioritize your sleep. Now we go on to number 5. Confidence comes from evidence. Self-belief only works if you give yourself reasons to believe. Get the reps in, get the experience, confidence will follow. Confidence literally means intense trust in oneself. And the only way to build that intense trust in oneself comes from evidence that you are who you say you are. The most elite performers on the planet live by one rule. They say, I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. That's evidence. Confidence comes from evidence. There's 3 things that confidence comes from. 1 is your previous success, 1 is your preparation, and 3rd is your self-talk. Your self-talk will drive your confidence in real time, right? When things matter most to you, what do you say to yourself? That's your confidence. Imagine this, you're smack talking yourself, or you're hyping yourself up, you're encouraging yourself. What's going to bring you more confidence in that moment? So in times that matter most, in the most quote unquote pressure-filled moments, what you say to yourself in those moments matters, really matters, and determines your confidence. And if you have the credibility to say some stuff to yourself, that means it's come from evidence, that comes from real-time experience. Now, if you're jumping into something new, If you're jumping into something brand new, okay, maybe you don't have the evidence, but what you do have is evidence in other domains that you've stepped into the unknown, done this thing, come out okay, and gain that experience. So you have the self-talk to say, I've done something new before, I can do something new again, but you're actually doing something brand new. And so that confidence comes from that evidence. That self-belief only works if you give yourself reasons to believe. So you have to do what you say you're going to do, because again, confidence means intense trust in oneself. To build that intense trust in oneself, you have to do hard things. You have to put yourself in uncomfortable spots to know that you can handle that discomfort. Know you can handle doing hard things. You're giving yourself that credible evidence, maybe not in a specific domain, but in general, you're telling yourself and your brain and your body, I can do hard things. I can step into the unknown. I can handle uncertainty. That's the evidence. Then you do what you say you're going to do. You build that intense trust. Then when you get into those situations or moments that matter most, where something is on the line, the game, your life, the presentation, whatever it is, what you say to yourself is actually credible and real. You can say to yourself, I got this. I'm prepared for this moment. I've been here before. I can handle this. That's where your self-talk becomes credible and real, and it's built on actual evidence in your life, maybe from not that specific domain, but from all of these other domains that you've built up of being someone who can do hard things, someone who can handle uncertainty, someone who can handle the discomfort and move forward. Because confidence means, again, intense trust in oneself, and it's built from actual credible evidence. And your self-talk is your number one predictor and controller of your confidence in the moments that matter most in real time. Preparation and previous success come before. I'm going to prepare as much as humanly possible. That gives me more confidence. I know that my previous success will determine my future success, and I have the evidence that allows me to say these things. And because of that, now I have the credible evidence to say this thing to myself in the moments that matter most. And that's where your self-talk determines your confidence, because it comes from evidence. So again, think about confidence as intense trust in oneself, and do what you say you're going to do. That's what the best performers in the world do, and that's really important to understand when it comes to confidence. One more drink, and then we'll get to the last one. So now we have number 6, which is excellence, intimacy, and love. All things we long for require attention. The quality of your attention shapes the quality of your life. Protect it. Excellence, intimacy, love. The quality of your attention shapes the quality of your life. Protect it. So many people are distracted right now, and they just don't get into deep work. It's never been easier. It's never been easier to get ahead. Why? Geez. Lot of sounds happening today from my mouth. Oh, geez, outside of just words. But overall, this has still been a great episode. So this is obviously one that you should share with everyone you know as a great reason to listen to and watch the Something for Everybody podcast. But anyways, the quality of your attention shapes the quality of your life. You have to protect it. I mean, this is Cal Newport's work, right? It's never been easier. It's never been easier to get ahead, because so many people are so distracted by so many different things that if you can focus your spotlight, you got to think of your attention as a flashlight. And if I can put my attentional flashlight on the thing that matters most for 2, 3, 4 hours a day, I'm going to get so far ahead of everyone else, because they're so distracted trying to multitask when really they're task switching. They can't focus on one thing. They can't follow through. They can't do any of these things that allow them to get into deep, focused, uninterrupted work for 90-minute blocks. That's what we want to do. 90-minute chunks of just dialed in. Our spotlight, our flashlight of attention is focused on what's most important, thinking what's important now, this thing right in front of me, following through on that thing, and then going to the next. Not trying to switch, multitask, task switch. There's an attentional residue all over your brain. You haven't really followed through on anything. You haven't given your best work on anything. You're so distracted. You're on your phone here. You're on this here. You're looking at this here. You're doing this here, instead of just trying to shape the quality of your attention, trying to use that attentional flashlight to the best of your ability, and zeroing in on the thing that matters most. But constantly asking yourself, what do I really want? Constantly asking yourself, what do I really want? Paired with Okay, what do I really want and what's important now? Trying to write that down, trying to make sure we have a priority list, trying to make sure we know what's most important, trying to think about essentialism, right? Doing less but better, right? The quality of your attention shapes the quality of your life. If you want to be excellent, you want to have great love, if you want to have great friendships, you want to have a great job, you want to have money, you want to have whatever it is, it all depends on how much you can pay attention to the things that matter most. The quality of your attention shapes the quality of your life. Now, if you want to get ahead faster than anyone else, pay attention. Get deep work blocks in. Focus on what's most important and go super, super deep without getting distracted. Go 90 minutes here, take a 15-minute break. Go 90 minutes here, take a 15-minute break. Thinking, what do I really want? Potentially, what's my purpose? Okay, what are the little tasks, the tiny tasks that I can execute over a long period of time that are mundane, that are boring, that are focused, that allow me to have the biggest return and get me to the point where I want to be at? Because what's most important now? Win. If you want to win, you have to dial in to the present moment. You have to be exactly where your feet are. Taking that deep breath, sinking into the present moment, and focusing, because the quality of your attention shapes the quality of your life. If you can't focus on anything, you're so distracted all the time that you can't have a conversation, you can't get to know someone, you can't do a job, you can't do the thing that matters most, then the quality of your life is going to decrease. That's why it's never been easier to get ahead, because you can be the person that focuses, that gets into deep work, that does Cal Newport style deep work, and all this shallow sort of task switching crap type of work, but deep, focused, uninterrupted work 2 or 3 times throughout the day. That's very important. Again, I'll say it again. The quality of your attention shapes the quality of your life. Protect it. And those are 6 truths that have gotten clear with age. I'm 33 years old, about to be a first-time dad. Those truths have gotten clear with age, and maybe you can understand those truths in your life and apply them to your life faster than I was able to apply them in my life. But again, thank you very much for tuning in. If you found this episode valuable at all, please share it with a friend. Sort of the best marketing tool that we have on this podcast. But other than that, I appreciate you very much, and I'll see you next time. Lots of love. Cheers. Thank you very much for tuning into that episode. And if you enjoyed it, click right here for another full-length episode of the podcast. And please don't forget to subscribe. But most importantly, above all else, please take good care of yourselves and others. And I'll see you next time. Lots of love. Cheers.